Finding hidden gems is part of all list managers and scouts' jobs. It's easy to pick top 10 and get a good player in, but the further down the draft order, the less clear it is how the talent available will stack up in the AFL. At the end of the day, most of the players drafted are still kids, so why not look at those over 20 and have experience playing against grown men, even if it is only at the reserve level? Well, clubs have been putting more of a focus on this, and a whole range of great AFL players have been discovered. Here are some of the most impactful players that came from the reserve competitions. Tim Kelly was a relatively unknown footballer outside of Western Australia when Geelong took the gamble, picking him pretty high at selection 24 in the 2017 draft. The 23-year-old had attempted to get drafted 6 straight seasons and finally got his chance after a lengthy stint in the Waffle. Playing all levels of football for South Fremantle, Kelly established himself as a first-team player in 2013 at 19 years old. His 2014 season saw him win the club's best and fairest, and overall he had a steady progression in the next 2 seasons. The monumental jump came in 2017 when he took his game to the next level. In 23 matches, he totaled 604 disposals, 26.3 per game, and kicked 26 goals. He came second in the Sandover Medal, the Waffles League Best and Fairest, and the season put him on the radar of AFL clubs.
With pick 24, Geelong have selected Tim Kelly from South Fremantle. Richmond are on the clock.
The first of the mature age players.
The electrician was now a professional footballer. His expectations were a little unclear early, but after impressing in the pre-season, he debuted in round 1 and didn't miss a game. It was a huge first year. Stats-wise, his 23 disposals per game and 24 total goals made him one of Geelong's best players. He split his time in the forward line and midfield, using his uncanny ability to get in space, putting his full skills on display. He came second in the best and fairest while polling 13 Brownlow votes. The AFL took notice and he won the AFLPA Best First Year Player Award. His follow-up season saw even more improvement. He gathered a couple more touches per game while still hitting the scoreboard. 24 Brownlow votes got him a top 5 finish. He was runner-up in the best and fairest yet again and was named All-Australian. He got his wish to move back to WA, and his initial pickup at selection 24 was well undervalued as the Eagles forked out pick 14, 24, 37 and a future first for his services. His time at West Coast has been a little up and down. Injuries have caught up to him, but in 2023 we did see him win West Coast Best and Fairest for the first time. Biding time in the Waffle helped Kelly have impact straight away and mature off the field. The 6-year, $5 million contract he signed in 2020 is a reward for his patience. It was a long road to the Western Bulldogs rookie list for defender Dale Morris. 4 years for Werribee in the VFL gave him time to work on all parts of his game. It's rare for AFL players to not even make their under-18 teams, with Morris missing out being a part of the Calder Cannons.
But I believe that everything happens for a reason. I never made the Calder Cannons. I tried out both years. The first year they said my skills weren't good enough, so I'd go away and work on that. The next year they said you're not quick enough. So that really hurt, but it made me want it even more.
After some fortune and a shot training just one day at the Bulldogs, Morris was given the chance to play for their affiliate at the time in Werribee. After working his way up to the senior team, he was finally elevated on the rookie list at 22 years old in 2004. 17 games in 2005 allowed Morris to establish himself, and by 2008 he was an All-Australian and widely recognised as a very good defender. He had fantastic versatility, and at 6'3" with good speed, he played on a variety of forwards in his career, ranging from Nick Riewoldt, Lance Franklin, Steve Johnson and Eddie Betts. 2011 would be a career-defining season as a game against Essendon led to the first of a number of severe injuries Morris fought through.
What injury was that? The broken leg?
Yeah, that was the broken leg, 2011.
Yeah.
Against Essendon. As you do, you go into a contest and you get hit and you land, and there's a lot of pain in the lower leg, and you look and one leg's pointing up, the other leg's lying on the
So it
ground.
was a compound.
It didn't break the skin, it was a clean break. It was quite painful, as you can imagine.
Yeah, I bet it was.
But I didn't know what was going on that game.
He missed the rest of 2011 and the entirety of 2012. The Bulldogs had a few down seasons, but Morris was back playing and had fully recovered from the horrific broken leg. He was a critical member of the Bulldogs' defence in 2016, but his story in the month of finals best sums him up. The bracket term used to describe his injury was a broken back, which occurred in round 23 against Fremantle. The plane rides meant his back would freeze up. Driving to the MCG for the semi-final against Hawthorn, he had to lean over while driving, such was the pain, and right before the preliminary final, Morris hurt his Achilles in the warm-up. It was resilience and pain tolerance that helped him play. In the grand final itself, he had the shining moment of his career, running down Lance Franklin in one of the plays of the game. Individually, it was great reward for the then 33-year-old who had given everything he had. Back-to-back ACL tears in 2018 and 2019 effectively ended his career, but the 253 games he played from his starting position was some effort. A rookie-listed player that made his way to the Western Bulldogs Hall of Fame mainly through perseverance and mental drive. The most remarkable find might be Tom Stewart. Unlike most, he was discovered playing in the local Geelong Football League. He may still be playing there right now if it wasn't for some fate. In 2013, at 20 years old, Tom Stewart was a member of South Barwon's premiership team. His playing coach was Geelong great Matthew Scarlett. His eye for talent made Stewart one to recommend to the Cats. A few seasons later in 2016, Stewart played 18 games for the Cats VFL team, playing well enough to get picked up at selection 40 in the national draft. 2017 saw him play 21 games, fitting in the Geelong defence. He looked to be a solid role-playing defender who had all-round strong attributes. It was the following season he would take off. With more responsibility, he averaged 20 disposals per game, and as the season moved on, so did his name in terms of the league's best defenders. He was 6th in the best and fairest, and made the All-Australian team for the first time. It seemed like Stewart has gotten better every season, and at age 30, he's going into his second year vice-captain in Geelong. 5 All-Australians in total, and 2 best and fairest wins, including 2023, have him as one of Geelong's greatest defenders or players in recent history, and at least a top 5-ish defender since he has been in the competition. The 2022 Grand Final win was well deserved for him, but it's still hard to wrap your head around a player of his quality playing local football in Geelong until he was 23.